sweet it is
Indeed it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Can house left clap too? Hine matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Sing it like you mean it. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful to be back with all of you. I hope you all had a wonderful Hanukkah. Well, I'm going to be talking in a little bit about keeping that spirit glowing as we continue into the new year. And it is especially wonderful to have back, though for just a moment right now, Greta Rosenstock, who's bringing the joy of song and music today. It's wonderful that, Greta, you're in town for like a month or so, right? While that taking a break from the graduate school in Ireland. And so we're so glad to have you back, and I'm so glad that I get to lead with you. It'll be a lot of fun in bringing some of that spirit. And of course, that song that we just started with, Hine Matov, where we had all of that clapping, you all are welcome to always clap during song. It's when we don't applaud during services, as it's not a performance, but if we're bringing the spirit, if we're bringing the energy, then please, please, please sing along, clap along, all of that wonderful moment. And it is lovely that we get to celebrate Shabbat together, which we'll do by lighting our Shabbat candles. And so although we don't have a Chanukiah to light this evening, we only have the couple of Shabbat candles, we still do that to bring light and joy into our world in this moment. And so we will begin Shabbat by turning to page 120, and we'll head on up and light our Shabbat candles. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. And we'll join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And as we turn the page for our Shabbat Kiddush, I invite everyone to please rise. And there was evening and there was morning, a sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון, כי נחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
This past weekend, for the end of Hanukkah, I was able to go to Chicago to celebrate with my family. In addition to our big family get-together with latkes, dreidels, and yes, even some gift-giving, my parents also have 2 electric menorahs that they were lighting and that they left lit throughout Hanukkah, adding a light each night. On Sunday, the last night of Hanukkah, my mother lamented that we would need to turn off the Chanukias tomorrow and that she would miss their light. Not thinking about the halachic repercussions or permissibility of it, and not thinking as a rabbi, but simply as their son and a fellow Jew who also likes the light of the menorah myself, I suggested that they keep the menorah lit through New Year's. What's the harm? And besides, isn't there beautiful symbolism to carrying the light of the menorah into the new year? Indeed, this reminded me of the sermon I gave just a couple of weeks ago about the power of end-of-year lists, how through creating these random lists about the top 10 favorite movies or top 5 words of 2025, how creating these lists, through that, we are able to remember and re-experience moments from the past year, which allow us to elevate, make meaning of, and celebrate our lives, both for ourselves and for those around us. And I suggested specifically that in honor of Hanukkah, we might make a list of the top 8 shining moments from 2025. Did anyone make that list? Let's just say not yet. While I won't quite do that this evening, I'll combine those 2 ideas with a list of 8 things from 2025 that are sticking with me as we enter the new year. And while all of them bring their own kind of light, I wouldn't necessarily call them all shining moments, even if they're each important and meaningful in their own ways. So here we go. Number 1. I couldn't begin this list with anything other than gratitude for the return of the 20 living hostages from Gaza and 27 of the bodies being returned to their families, as well as the cautious ceasefire that has held since October, tentatively ending 2 years of war. This is with the recognition that the body of Ron Gavili remains in Gaza, which is why we continue to light the 3rd candle each Shabbat. The past 2 years since the horrific attack and massacre of October 7th have upended the Jewish world, and especially the anti-Semitic, anti-Israel vitriol has left many Jews in a vortex of Jewish identity. Even as we still await and pray for Gavili's return, this truce does provide an opportunity for renewal for Israel and for Jews around the world. We cannot return to before October 7th, but may we find some healing and some new growth as a result of the ceasefire in the new year. I said it wasn't all going to be happy, because unfortunately, number 2, anti-Semitism and yet Jewish resistance and resilience. The reality is that anti-Semitism and Jew hatred are on the rise in the US and globally. We had a stark reminder of this in the most horrific way with the massacre at Bondi Beach on the first night of Hanukkah. Yet it is not the rise in anti-Semitism that is staying with me as we enter 2026. It is our and others' response that matters. Despite the rise in anti-Semitism, I still see regular moments of Jewish pride, from Scarlett Johansson refusing for her Jewish identity to be hidden, to our own students choosing to speak out against anti-Semitism in their own schools. Not to mention, perhaps most importantly, for all of us to continue showing up in Jewish community, celebrating our holidays, and enjoying being Jewish. Even in response to the Bondi massacre, most people I spoke to seem to be of the same mindset, that we cannot be scared into hiding. Instead, we need to celebrate Hanukkah and our Jewish spirit even more, for ourselves, for our fellow Jews, and for the upstanders around us. Two not particularly shining things, but important things to carry into 2026. But enough of that. Let's get back to a little bit of light, and I'll go quite literally here. Number 3, the Northern Lights. If you've paid attention to my sermons over the past several years, you know that I love what I often call celestial events. From the phases of the moon to equinoxes and solstices to the eclipse last year, and now I get to add a new one to my list, the Aurora Borealis. I had always hoped to see the Northern Lights, and despite living and traveling in places quite a bit further north than here, I was amazed to see the Northern Lights right here in St. Louis last month. Was it the most spectacular display of the aurora? Perhaps not, but it was amazing all the same. To see the sky illuminated brought a sense of joy and wonder, and was yet another reminder of the miraculous works of creation we experience every day. Number 4, from light to warmth, hot chocolate. Bear with me. This is a very small one, but sometimes it's the smallest things that have the biggest impact. And while I do like hot chocolate, especially with peppermint, the hot chocolate I'm keeping with me this year is from the Philadelphia Eagles football game a few weeks ago. On a day when the wind chill was near single digits, the Eagles' star wide receiver, A.J. Brown, noticed a young fan sitting in the stadium, shivering but toughing it out. So in the middle of the game, he got a cup of hot chocolate from the Eagles bench and brought it to this young kid in the first row of the stands, who of course accepted it gladly. A small but powerful act that just happened to be caught on camera. And this, to me, just reminds us of the impact we each can have. I truly love that moment. That's definitely something that'll stick with me. Number 5, time for a few quick hitters here. Green sea turtles, which have been considered an endangered species since 1980, have now been moved to the International Union for Conservation of Nature's least concern list. This is remarkable and due to decades of protections and regulations to marine habitats. Likewise, the hole in the Antarctic ozone layer is at its smallest size since 2019, and is on track to recover completely by the late 2060s should we continue to make strides in climate awareness. And finally, in the same vein, for the first time, renewable energy surpassed coal as the largest energy source globally. Admittedly, this is a partial victory because unfortunately fossil fuel emissions also hit a record high. But nevertheless, all of these show that we as humans can still make a difference. Now to an even lighter subject, and I apologize in advance, especially to the teachers and parents out there, because for number 6, I have to go with 6-7. Absolutely. What started as brain rot, which is nonsensical wordsmanship that the youth use to occupy and distract themselves with, has turned into what I see as a semi-productive social endeavor and even meme. This admittedly stupid trend has brought together and united people from varied backgrounds and identities. And it's been interesting to see this play out in our own religious school, as students from kindergarten to those in college have engaged with one another over this truly silly phrase. Though, of course, the rule in United Hebrew's religious school is if you are going to say 6-7, you have to do it in Hebrew. And so for that, exactly, Shei Sheva. Sorry, everyone. Number 7, for me personally, bird watching. One of the best things I started doing this year was a bit of birding. It's a fun way to get outside with something to do and to enjoy nature. And watching the different birds pop up as I use a couple of different apps, whether it's Merlin Bird ID or eBird. Anyone familiar with some of those out there? I see at least one. I'll take one hand. It really is easy to get into birding nowadays. These apps make it super easy. But watching the different birds pop up is fascinating and just plain fun. But even more than that, this new hobby has resulted in me being more attentive not only to birds, but to other small things in nature and my daily life. I can't tell you how often now I'll be walking around or driving and be like, oh, I know what that bird is. It just pops to mind and I see it. Or even not related to birds, if I'm walking down the street, I'm much more likely to notice different details, different aspects, different things about people and the environment around me. And this is so important because, again, it's sometimes those smallest things that can have an outsized impact, not only for myself, but for those around me. And talking about those around me, finally, number 8, I don't know which way to do 8, United Hebrew. All of you. We continue to have an amazingly strong and wonderful community. From services, Torah study, and our adult ed classes, to our one-off events and special programs. I know that many of you joined us for the annual gala, Prom Through the Decades, way back in May. It was a ton of fun if you happened to miss it. Join us for the one coming up this year as well. Similar but different theme. We're going to college this time rather than prom. Well, you'll hear more about that later on. And more recently, I lost my place here. More recently, we just finished an amazing week filled with Hanukkah events. From a Hanukkah-themed whiskey and wisdom to donuts and dreidels to the pop-up bar at Wenty's. I hope that many of you were there. I unfortunately was out of town and couldn't be there. But all of those things were plenty of fun and communal events for us to gather and show our love for Jewish community, United Hebrew, and just celebrating being Jewish. And all of this is because, of course, of our wonderful groups, our amazing programs, our staff, you all, the congregants, our volunteers, our new members, and everyone, truly everyone, who help make United Hebrew the amazing, joyously Jewish community that we are. And so for that, thank you. Thank you all very much. Okay, that's 8. But of course, we know that a fully lit Hanukkah doesn't have 8 candles, it has 9. So as the shamash this evening, that candle, that light that leads us into each night, I'll offer just a few things for us to hold on to lead us into the new year and to guide us in 2026. So this new year, 2026, may it be a year filled with hope, humility, kindness, opportunity, and most of all, joy. And so this evening, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And may our spiritual menorahs keep shining bright. Thank you, everyone. We'll turn now to page 138 as we welcome in Shabbat with L'cha Dodi.
Kabbalah lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat lekabbalah shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmianu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor habracha merosh mekedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila lecha dodi likrat kala Kabbalah lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat the Kabbalah. Please rise to welcome the spirit of Shabbat. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam b'simcha u'v'tzola toch emunei Segula boi kala lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat lekabbalah lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah penei Shabbat Kabbalah.
We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai.
And on page 148, we join together in the Hebrew of Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim b'chokhmah poteach she'arim uvitvuna meshaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim u'mesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom u'me'vi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzebaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And on page 151, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated as we turn to page 154 and join together in Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם. בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen. And on page 157, we join together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
We prepare to sing Mi Chamocha, this song of the sea, our song of liberation. Again, thinking of this intention of moving into 2026, a new year, leaving that, whatever that narrow place is for you, any narrow places that were offered to you in 2025, may they be left behind on the other side of the sea as we walk into a year with more freedom, more joy, more community. We sing together Mi Chamocha on page 158. Baelim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha baelim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. No with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim, Adonai. Mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh, nora, nora tehilot. Osef elem. And we turn the page and continue on page 160 with Hashkivenu, this prayer asking God to please shelter us with a sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace. May we all be protected this Shabbat, this week, and again, as we enter into this new year, not only for us, but for all the world. May everyone find a sukkot shalom in the new year. We sing Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. 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 We sing to life. Lechaim. Lechaim.
And as we turn to page 164 for our tefillah, I invite you to please rise if you are able.
Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lima'an Shemo Be'achava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ezrat Sarah, page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. And on page 173, we read together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. And on page 177, again we read together at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'el lehodot. And as we turn the page to 178, I'm going to invite you to keep a hand there, because we will come back to our prayer for peace in just a moment, following our silent prayer. But first, we have a few prayers that we add that are so meaningful for us today, and perhaps hit just as close to the heart as we do pray for peace. The first is, of course, a prayer for the state of Israel, which can be found on page 377. Avinu Shabashamayim Sur Yisrael Vigolo Barech et Midinat Yisrael Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. And I invite you to join me in the English at the bottom of the page. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. And as we turn back a few pages to page 371, we also think of those in our lives and in our world who could use prayers of healing and of health, whether of body, mind, or soul. And so if you're thinking of a loved one this evening, I invite you in this moment to please rise. And I invite you as one community to share their names out loud. Please be seated. And so we join our prayers of healing together as one community as we sing Misha Beirach, this prayer for healing.
Misha Beirach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength
truly wish those in need of healing a refuah shlema, a return to wholeness and health. And in this moment, we pause for silent prayer, the prayers of our own hearts and minds. For this, you might say your own prayer, but if you're looking for words, you can also use pages 180 and 181. And then, of course, as we close our silent prayer, we'll turn back to page 178. Please pray silently.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Atahu melech adon lechol ha'shalom ki atahu melech adon lechol ha'shalom v'tov לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה Adonai, Oseh HaShalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Greta, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Corey Wallace, and I'm a member of the UH Board of Trustees. Tomorrow at UH, Torah study at 8:45 a.m. in the Spielberg Chapel and on Zoom. Shabbat morning service at 10 a.m. in the Millstone Sanctuary and on live stream. Upcoming events, Musar and Mindfulness, Cultivating Balance and Wisdom on Saturday, January 3rd, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. in the Millstone Library. Whiskey and Wisdom, one of my favorite events. Thank you for bringing that to UH. Whiskey and Wisdom, Wednesday, January 14th at 7:30 p.m. As Rabbi says, come for the wisdom, stay for the whiskey, or vice versa. Friday, January 16th, MLK Shabbat, 6:30 p.m. For anybody that has not participated in that particular Shabbat, it is extremely meaningful. It's very powerful. If you can make it in person to that or live stream, very powerful. And new in 2026, please note that Torah study will begin at 9 a.m. starting January 3rd. January 23rd will be the first Shabbat at home where you can meet new people, share a meal, and experience Shabbat. More details and sign-ups coming soon. These events, all services, programs, and more can be found in our Sunday e-blast, our digital bulletin, and our congregational calendar on our website. Please note that the UH Cemetery BOGO, which stands for Buy One, Get One, plot sale ends December 31st. So that's a real day of shopping, and I'm actually not kidding. When you've made the decision to go to the cemetery and pick out your final resting place, that is quite a day. But at any rate, it is buy one, get one, so for $2,200, you can double the bang for your buck. Save the date for UHU 2026 Gala and High Society annual event on Sunday, April 25th from 6:30 to 10:30. Thank you to our tech team, as always, for making it possible for all of us to be together virtually tonight. And please check our website or call the office for gift shop hours. Hope everybody had a wonderful Hanukkah. Have a happy New Year, and we'll continue to celebrate together.
And just to add on to that thank you and gratitude, of course, as always, thank you to David Cohen for helping bring the spirit and the music as well. We really couldn't do it without you. And again, a thank you to Greta for being here this evening, as I have had to do a couple of services on my own. You all know it is a much more pleasant and joyful experience when we have someone like Greta who's here singing with us. And so thank you, Greta, for being here this evening. It's really wonderful to be able to lead with you again. Although I will say it's not the same as leading one of our family Shabbats with all the kids. That's just a ton of fun. This is maybe not quite a ton, a half ton of fun at least. But I love the ability to come together on Shabbat and celebrate. And because this is last Shabbat of the year, one of the things that is so powerful and such a reminder for me about our next prayer, the Aleinu, is that it's a reminder that what we do here in this sanctuary doesn't stay here in the sanctuary, but is meant to continue and carry with us into the rest of our lives and the rest of Shabbat. And this Shabbat, may it continue and carry with us into the rest of 2026 as well. And so with that, I'll invite everyone to please turn to page 586, and if you are able, I invite you to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. On page 594. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose, a thing for fools this and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. This Shabbat, we remember those who have died in the past 30 days as we hold in our hearts for the period of Shloshim, Anita Cohen, Stanley Cohen, Lois Frank, Steve Hertz, Gary M. Jaffe, Lauren Beth Kittredge, Constance Connie Levy, Marvin Prywich, Ella Sachs, and Sanford L. Schenberg. We add to these those who have died at this time in years past, as we remember for Yahrzeit, Hyman Amernick, Anna Barg, Marvin Beckerman, Marcia S. Birkin, Dr. Harry L. Birkin, Elsie Pat Bernhardt, Marcus Bernhardt, Milton H. Bialik, Faye Block, Mina Brash, Leon J. Cohen, Arthur M. Davidson, Bertha Diener, Jeanette Feigenbaum, Ruby Feldman, Mayor Finkelstein, Bertha Fishman, Ann Posen-Flotkin, Dr. Joseph J. Gitt, Max Glazer, Esther Glick, May Gluck, Louis Goldberg, Estelle C. Golden, Reuben Goodman, Edward A. Goodman, Terry L. Greenblatt Freeman, Esther Heifetz, Bertie Hirschfeld, Fanny Raflo Hirsch, Herbert P. Kramer, Paul Kreisman, William Krell, Leonid Krichevsky, Theodore Lending, Randy Leon Mamroth, Manuel Sam Margulis, Nathan Mathis, Leo Miller, Ronald E. Milstein, Gloria Molaski, Natalie Morris, Ben Newman, Meyer Newman, Irene Nissenbaum, Fanny Holtzman Novak, Sophia S. Orenstein, Sam J. Passon, Florence Pepper, Ruth Jaggist Reiter, Gertrude Clarice Rowe, Barney Rosenberg, Celia Schlesinger, Evelyn Schneider, Dora Schneiderman, Caroline S. Cecil, William Sharon, Dorothy Soul, Edith Sperling, Simon Spitzer, Ruth R. Sternick, Diane Stone, Elizabeth Ann Beth Stone, Harvey Stone, Joe P. Stone, Bernard Sussman, Bernard J. Thea, David S. Turkin, and Betty J. Wool. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise so that we might recognize their memory. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing. And I invite everyone to rise and stand with the mourners for our Kadisha tome, our Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yit Gadal V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yirtev Yamlich Malchuteh, B'chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agalav Yizman Kariv Imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yithalal Shemei D'Kudesha B'richu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tush Bechata V'nechamata, Damiran Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who mourn, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen. And as we sang a prayer for peace earlier, so too do we sing it once again. For as we enter into a new year, 2026, that notion of shalom, of shalem, of peace and wholeness is something I think we can all aspire to and hope for in the brand new year. And so we'll join in singing Oseh Shalom as we wrap up our Shabbat service.
Oh, Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
And we wish everyone Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.